You are rejoining me today after a night at my sister's place in Stratford-upon-Avon. After about 670 miles of cycling a BMX across the length of the UK from John O'Groats to Land's End. Today is my 8th day of cycling in a row on this little BMX challenge, and I'd be entering familiar territory as I head into Gloucestershire.
Right, so it's day 8. I've had a night at my sister's. I decided, while the sky is actually not raining currently, it was raining the night, I should just get a move on. It's currently 9:30, so I'm leaving a little late, but I figured while it's not currently raining, we should just get a move on. And while my body is used to riding the BMX, it's best not to spend any time off the bike and just keep going, because from here it's like 300 miles away. We're so close now to completing the BMX versus the length of the UK on the BMX. I don't know what I said. I don't know. My brain's frazzled. But today, obviously leaving late, I'm just going to try and get as close to Bristol. The good news is though, I am now I'm south of Birmingham. I'm past all like the really busy, big city life. So it's going to be a bit quieter, a bit more country lanes, a bit more peaceful, and just generally a bit more flowy. Today is generally quite an easy day. It's quite flat. It's not. The next couple of days are fairly easy. We've got to get over the men dips, and that's about it. That'll be tomorrow. But let's just keep going. 300 miles, guys. We're so bloody close. Day 8 of the BMX versus the UK.
Starting out this morning, I was actually feeling clean and fresh, a rare combo on this trip, and knowing I was only about 300 miles from the end of this epic challenge, well, that was a pretty good feeling. What made it even better was that now I was riding on much more familiar roads, quieter, flowier, and just easier to ride. The kind of roads that let you just relax a little bit. And to top it all off, I'd still somehow manage to dodge the rain, at least for now.
Just made it to Gloucester, which has been an absolutely beautiful ride. It's just been nice and downhill. I think I've even had a bit of a tailwind, so everything's been really good today. I think this section of the route is probably the easiest as well, because like the whole route is about 100 miles and there's like not even 3,000 feet of elevation gain, and it's like something like 2,700 feet downhill and like 2,400 up. So it's basically just flat or just slightly downhill, which is perfect, especially when you've got a nice little tailwind. Hate going into the headwinds on the BMX, but the tailwinds are really good. Since day 2, I don't know if anyone else ever does this on any like long distance trips when they're cycling, but along the way something always attaches itself to your bike. And for me, it's this tiny little bit of a fern tree, I guess. from I think day 2 from the Cairngorms. That's been stuck there, and every now and again I just look down and still see it's still there, and I'm just happy. And I've probably got like 250 miles now to go until Land's End, but I'm gonna be heading down towards like the canal and then down to Bristol. Hopefully I can get to Bristol tonight, or just past it, because there's a bunch of woods and stuff where I know I could camp. I'm not sure. There's a few spots of rain as well right now, but I'm just going to keep making progress. I've done 40 so far today, so another 20 or 30 would be pleasantly great. Right, onto the canal for a bit. Hopefully it's not too bumpy. If it is, we'll find some surrounding flat roads. Let's keep going.
Maybe it was the shower, maybe the good night's sleep, but I was having an absolute blast today. The wrist felt a little better too, and at least the swelling had eased off. With a slight tailwind, I was happily cruising along the canal, almost forgetting I was riding a BMX. That's how good the day had been. But of course, something had to come and spoil it.
Number 2. Hopefully I can fix it.
I patched up a punctured tube, lost my little twig mate from the Cairngorms, and just as I got rolling again, the rain finally made an appearance. Only a quick shower, but the skies were starting to turn and it looked like the night might not be so kind. So I made the call to find shelter while I still could, and ended up tucked away in a little doorway of a little church for the night. Turned out to be a wise move.
Get these 35 miles done today. It'll be a miracle, because gosh daddy what? It's a headwind. Why today? And it'll just be a tailwind. It'll take me all the way to Land's End in one day.
I really didn't want to leave my little church doorway this morning, my little sanctuary of safety. The wind was absolutely brutal. It was meant to be a flat stage of the journey. But even then, I found myself having to get off and hike at times, just because the sheer power of this headwind. I could see the bridge to Wales off in the distance, but I wasn't crossing it. Just a familiar sight from past adventures. But today, even that felt out of reach. Progress was so slow, every pedal stroke was a battle. This was turning into the toughest day of the trip, which was meant to be the easiest. Any challenge up to this point, that was just starting to feel like a warm-up.
What an absolute brutal slog this morning has been. To put it into perspective, it's taken me 3.5 hours to do just 20 miles. The wind has been in my face and it's just been one hell of a slog. The BMX is certainly nice and muddy now, but God, 20 miles. Today's like the worst day to have a headwind as well. Going into the Somerset levels where everything's flat, exposed. I mean, there's no good time to have a headwind, but going into the Somerset levels, definitely not a good time at all. I'm going to stop here, have something to eat, and when I say eat, I'm going to have some nourishment. I just found a tin that said nourishment on it, so I thought it'd be good. It just looks like chocolate milk, to be honest, but it's in a tin. I don't know why it's in a tin. Update on my wrist. I've kind of got the swelling to go down by taking some ibuprofen or whatever it's called, and that's not helping the pain at all. It's still very raw. Every time I twist my wrist or move it in certain ways, it feels like it's all grinding. I have no idea what it is, but I'm just trying to battle through, get to Land's End before getting the wrist sorted. But let's try and have some nourishment. It's very chocolatey. It's very nourishing. So, some good news. You can probably tell behind me, the sun is starting to come out. It is still very windy, and the weather forecast is saying no more rain. I'll see it when I believe it, but I'll believe it when I see it. I think that's I believe it when I see it, but the wind is still going to be howling until basically all day. So next stop, I'm heading towards Clevedon, and then across the Mendips across to Sunset Levels. Getting across Mendips is going to be quite easy. I think I'm just following a bike path, so it's not too much of an issue. But it is, of course, going to be into a headwind. But I'm all nourished up. It's we've got about 15 miles of this section left, and then we've just got 2 more to go. 2 more. If the sun stays out, at least that's one thing less to worry about. Let's go.
When I left the church doorway this morning, I just assumed the whole day was going to be a rainy, windy, and downright miserable day. But you know what? Yeah, the wind was still trying to push me back the way I'd come. But at least the rain had passed, and the sun was starting to shine. I started following the strawberry line across the Mendips, probably the easiest way to cross it, if I'm honest, especially today. And of course, especially on a BMX.
Wow. When I left this morning, I wasn't expecting to be sat here in a t-shirt without my jacket and being dry. It is still windy, but the sun is shining. I've just got onto the penultimate section, so just this one and one more to go, which means got about 200 miles left to go. Now I am along the Strawberry Line, nice cycle path for a little while longer, but when I drop down into the Somerset levels, I reckon it's just going to be a long battle into the wind like it has been all morning. I've done just over 35 miles. If I can get to 60, 65, I'd be happy. 70 would be wonderful. Ultimately, just want to try and get as much of the next 60 miles done as possible, because after 60 miles, things are going to start getting harder as we head into Devon, and all the hills are on their way. This last 60 miles is the last of the flat lands. Into the wind we go. So close though. 200 miles to go. Currently at 57 miles for the day. It's currently 4 p.m. The wind, I think it's starting to die down a bit. It's still there, it's still making its presence known, but slowly but surely it's dying out. I don't know where I am, but I'll put it here.
All the hard work today, battling across the Somerset levels, was finally starting to pay off. The wind began to ease up a bit, which meant I could actually enjoy the last of the flatlands. After all, I was getting closer and closer to Devon and Cornwall, the final two counties, and both absolutely notorious for their relentless steepness. So I made the most of the last flat evening, knowing full well what was waiting just around the corner.
Right, I'm in a bit of a rush now. Just gone through Taunton. Sun's gonna set in like 40 minutes. Haven't got anywhere to camp. I've got one rough idea where I could possibly camp, but it is about 10 miles from Taunton, so I'm gonna have to get a move on. But in total today so far I've done 76 miles, so super happy with that. I'm currently enjoying like the no wind. The wind has died down now, so I'm able to just ride and enjoy the sun as well. And I've also only got 57 miles of this section to go, so that means there's about 158 miles to get to Land's End. It's so close. I can almost smell that finish line, but I gotta find somewhere to sleep tonight, so tomorrow we can get as close as possible. Right, it is all up. I've got where I think I'm going to be able to camp. There's like this woodlands, possibly going to be able to find somewhere there. but it is about 6 miles uphill. But it's not too steep, so let's go find camp. Look at the sun. The sun. I've done about 85 miles. Look at the sky, it's beautiful, just setting behind me. Actually, it's already set, to be honest, it's really dark, but it's a beautiful orange sky. 85 miles done today. Did not expect to get 85 miles done. I found a little spot over there to camp. Man, 85 miles today. When I set off this morning into that headwind, I generally thought 40, 50 was going to be the limit, so very happy with that. That also means about 150 left. Whew, it's so close, so close. But I think the testing times for the BMX are about to come, because from now on it's pretty much all up or down. There's not much in between. But as always, I see bright and early in the morning for, is it day 10? Is it day 9 today? I think it's day 9 today, day 10 tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know, I've lost track. As always, I see bright and early in the morning. Look at that beautiful sky. Good morning, good morning. Day 10 of the BMX versus the length of the UK. I'm going to overtake you in a minute if you're going that slow. Oh, spiderweb. Today could potentially be the penultimate day. Actually, it should be the penultimate day. And in some ways it needs to be the penultimate day or the last day, because today we've got kind of blue skies, some grey clouds incoming, but it isn't meant to rain and it's not windy. So today is kind of like the last good day, because tomorrow and then the next day is like 100% chance of rain. The winds are going to really pick up and I really don't want to be having to battle my way to Land's End in that. However, I probably will have to, I'm sure, because I've still got 150 odd miles to go. And realistically, the most I've been able to do on this trip is about 100 miles. So at best, I'll have 50 miles to do tomorrow. But we are now into the hills, into the steepness, well, nearly into the steepness. Once I get to Tiverton, that's when the real steep stuff. I've got like one descent, one draggy climb, and then along a canal to Tiverton. After that though, we are well and truly going to be on the steep stuff. There is a silver lining of the steep stuff, is I do get to sit down and cruise down some of the hills, which for the last 3 or 4 days I really haven't been able to do because there just hasn't been any. So it's just been very stand up, pedal, pedal, pedal. But today is day 10 and potentially the penultimate day. Should we see what day 10 has in store for us? Let's do it. Let's go see if I can catch that moped up. I've got a thorn in my shoe. Ow. I'll sit down for this.
I could definitely tell I was getting closer to Devon now. The lanes were getting narrower, the hedges taller. I had one last canal to follow, the Great Western Canal, which would carry me over the border and into Devon. That meant I only had 2 counties left to cross. So rolling into Tiverton, I knew it was time to start preparing for those hills, which obviously meant hitting the little bakery first.
Just a little breakfast. I'm at Tiverton now, and I will say my legs from yesterday are absolutely shot. All that headwind, constant standing up, pedaling. Today I am feeling it, and it's not good, because now from Tiverton is where the real hills start to begin, and I think for the next sort of 5-6 miles it's pretty uphill, so I expect a bit of hike a bike in the coming minutes.
So after stuffing my face at the little bakery, I come to the first climb. At this point, with the long days stacking up behind me, I think I might have been losing the plot just a little bit.
Pasties to eat, pasties to eat.
Scoop, muck and dizzy, roll it too. Lofty and windy, join the crew. Bob and the gang have so much fun, working together to get the job done. Bob the builder. Oh, beautiful day out here today.
Right, just arrived at Oakhampton. It's just after 1 PM, so making okay progress. Not great, but okay. Just under 50 miles, and I'm just heading up to a cycle path. I think it's called the Granite Way, Granite Trail, something like that. It's like an old railway. So that will give me a nice sort of 10 easy-ish miles, which is nice. But it is a bit of a slog to get up there. And it's, as you can see, walking. Had a little bit of rain as well. So hopefully that's all we'll have today. I'm really hoping to definitely get into Cornwall, maybe past Bodmin, I don't know, just as far as I can get, because I just want the easiest day possible tomorrow. And every now and again I feel that wind creeping back into my face, but for now let's get on this cycle path. And I was right, it's called the Granite Way. But probably got like 4 miles of this section left, and then it's like 100 miles. Nearly at the 100-mile to go mark. So close.
The old railway line turned cycle route traces along the northwestern edge of Dartmoor, and it's probably one of the most scenic and gentle ways to get close to the moor without being chewed up by its infamous hills. With the rugged Dartmoor on my left and the epic rolling countryside of Devon on my right, it was magical. And you know what else felt magical? Selecting the last part of this route on my Garmin, which meant just 100 miles to go after 10 days of riding this BMX across the UK.
Welcome to Cornwall, the last county.
Well and truly in Cornwall now, 81 miles to go. Just to think, just 10 days ago, me and this little BMX was in John O'Groats on a foggy morning, and not that long and we will be at Land's End. But first I've got to get up to the highest point on this little section of the route. It's about 1,000 feet, nothing crazy, but of course it's Cornwall, which means it's very steep. But once I'm at the top, I have a nice long descent down towards like Bodmin and that way. And then realistically, I'm not going to say the rest is easy or flat, but it's definitely a lot more flowy. I won't say too flowy, but the elevation gain and loss isn't significant. So we're just going to keep hiking up here, and I look forward to the descent.
I'd started to become one with this little bike between my legs. Sure, it wasn't always the easiest thing to ride, especially on the climbs, nor is it the most practical, but I was honestly loving it. Even the grind up to Minions, which is a proper climb at the best of times, felt like something I could take on. And once you reach the top, wow, you are greeted with the wide open landscape of the Bodmin Moor. The old tin mine ruins scattered across the hills. It's really something special. It's just beautifully rugged.
What a day. It's currently 7:15 and I've done 88 miles with a lovely 65 miles to go. Now I think I'm going to try and do the 15 now, so I've only got 50 to do tomorrow. If I do that, then we're finishing off strong, the penultimate day, over 100 miles. You know, it's got to be done. It's been a good day actually. It's been a slog, but in places, but you know, it's smashed it really. 7 o'clock, got about an hour. I need to check the weather to see when all the storms and stuff hit. Hopefully it won't be in the night. Hopefully it'll be like tomorrow afternoon, and then we can hopefully we can arrive at Land's End just before it, but who knows, probably not. We'll see. Let's crack on 15 more miles and find somewhere to set up. I'll find somewhere to set up the bivvy. One more night. So close, so bloody close. Good morning.
Oh, you probably can't see me. It's still a bit dark. It's been raining all night. I'm just hiding under a tree branch basically, which worked pretty well for a while, but it did start getting a bit heavier, so it started dripping on me a bit. Obviously I'm in the bivvy, so I'm dry and warm, but I just tried to keep it off my face as much as possible. But obviously we couldn't get all the way to Land's End without it raining, I guess. We had to have that one wet day, and that is the final day. I've got about 55 miles, less than that now I think, 53, something like that, to go, so there's no messing about today. We're just gonna get our head down and pedal into this wind and rain and miserable day for our final day to make it across the UK on a BMX, hopefully. Day 11. Let's try and get out of this camp. There's just no hope of being dry today, is there? It's rained literally from about 9 o'clock last night till 6 o'clock now, and it doesn't look like it's gonna stop anytime soon. Time to go.
Of course, what could possibly go wrong on a morning when it's absolutely pissing down with rain and I need to get to the finish line? What could that possibly be? I've woken up to a flat tire. Why? Why now? Of all times and places, it's gonna be now. Oh my god. Let's go over the sketchy bridge. It really hurts my wrist.
I could not believe it. Actually, I kind of could. Back when I met those two guys with the folding bikes, we joked that you always get a flat when it's raining and at the worst possible time. And here I was, just 50 miles from the finish line, in the rain with a flat on day 11 of riding a BMX the length of the UK. Waking up to rain, fog and wind. Of course, this is what it had to come down to. Today was the day. It had to be. I was going to finish this thing. And yeah, it looked like it was going to be a proper miserable end to an epic adventure. However, there was only one thing that could fix that.
That makes everything a little bit better. Probably got like 20 miles left, if that. So close. So wet and miserable though. So bloody wet and miserable. You're not going to believe this. I've just literally got to Penzance. I'm like 10 miles away from Land's End, and I don't know what's happened. I think I've broken the chain or bent the chain or something because it keeps slipping off. I don't really have much time to play around with because I got to get to Land's End and back for a train. I don't actually know what's wrong. I can't actually see. It looked like her thing was broken on it, but I'm going to try and clean it up and see if I can do something with it. Maybe shorten the chain, I don't know. I'm so pissed off. So pissed off. I don't have enough time to get to the bike shop and get it fixed and get to Land's End and back. The chain is the absolute perfect length. It can't be any shorter, otherwise it just seizes up because it's too tight.
I generally thought about scootering the BMX the last 10 miles to Land's End, but with it being Easter weekend, I just didn't have the time. There was no way I could get there and back before the last train home. So the BMX made it so close, like painfully close, 10 miles short. I'd ridden the BMX almost the length of the UK, through the highlands, the cities, the wind, the rain, the wrist pain, all the ice lollies, and everything in between. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely one of the best things I've ever done. And this little BMX, well, what a story it has made. 955 miles on a BMX across the UK. What a ride.
Do more exploring, deeper than knowing just what is essential for life that is thriving. Go deep, mute out the child.